special treat tonight. I'm telling you, you're not going to want to miss this one. So if you got to do something right now, like you got to go warm up your corny dogs, grab you a sandwich, grab a frosted cold beverage or a hot cup of coffee, whatever it is you need to get you through this race, go get it right now because we're about to start the warm up laps here. This is LSRTV, and you are watching a dual race right now. These are duels for the Mrs. Dockside 500 brought to you by Pros League. That is a specific lead, a hosted league within iRacing.com. If you're new to sim racing, iRacing.com is the best place for sim racing on the internet. You're lucky to have found it tonight. I wouldn't doubt it if you're watching this for the first time, didn't even know sim racing existed. You're probably going to go out there and Google iRacing.com. It's going to be spectacular. I'm here in the booth with Mr. Fight and Mr. Nick, and we're going to be calling the action for you here tonight, specific to this duel. In preparation for the Miss Dockside 500, we've got $50 guaranteed for the winner of each one of the duels tonight. Now, this is the first duel of the night that you're seeing as the pace car brings the cars out onto the track. We're starting to get rolling right now. They're going to do one preparatory lap here as they get warmed up. Drivers get into position, start shaking off the nerves. Nick, why don't you give us a rundown of the folks that we have up front on the first row tonight?
Not a problem, Tim. So starting out front here, we've got Jeremy Candle in the 73 truck. On the outside of him, we've got Ralph Shipman in the 22 truck. Row 2, we've got in number 419, Steven Hendren. On the outside of him, Wade Rockard in the number 82 truck. And the next row behind him in the 53 truck, Carl Burke. And on the outside of him, number 10, Mark Maffitt. And 7th, truck number 21, Sean Zulu. And on the outside of him, truck number 13, Richard Gabernale. Starting 9th in the 69 truck, Kerry Cleaver. And rounding out the top 10 tonight, we've got in the 77 truck, Robert O'Neill.
Boy, howdy, Nick. This is going to be a good one. I can tell already the drivers are tight-knit in their formation here as the pace car brings them around the final set of turns as we get ready for this duel. This is going to be a 57-lap duel. Not much time for strategy here. It's just going to be some all-out racing. I tell you what, it's going to be great. Now, once again, this lap, this is first duel. This is $50 guaranteed to the winner. Green-white checkers is in effect, okay? And we're at speed weather right now, too. So, qualifying determines the starting lineup for the racing duel that you're seeing here. So, they've already qualified for this, for their lineup. We are going along the back stretch here, almost ready to get back to racing. And we are going live. The pace car is in. Drivers are still tight-knit as they negotiate turn 1, giving each other some room. We see some pushing going on the outside lane here as they try to get around Steven Hendren of the 419. He can't quite make it there in the first pass here, but as they exit turn 2 down the backstretch, we see some good battles going on for position. Whoa, 2 of them taking it down low back towards the rear of the pack. I guess trying to just move out of the way for a bit, but they are locked nose to tail as they enter into turn 3.
419 still out in front, down on the bottom side with the number 10 shoving them right behind them. On the outside, 42 and 420 on the outside. Got a run coming off of 4 here. Down the front stretch they come into the tri-oval. 419 with a nice lead, truck lead. Down the bottom as they come to the start-finish line.
Mark Maffitt in the 10 is leading that outside line. Getting a great push there from, it looks like, John Gordon, the 420 car. They are slowly gaining on the leaders now. If they want to expect to pass on the outside there, you're going to have a very tight line and remain very close to that bottom line of cars there to get that side drafting, or else you're just not going to pass them. The way these cars are set up, the way these trucks are set up in iRacing is very similar to what you see on NASCAR television. Or if you go to the races there, physically, the cars behave very much in the same way. So this outside line here, led by the 42 truck, they're going to have to keep it down low, tighten it right there together if they want to expect to make a pass. They're doing a great job of it right now, but as you can see, no one else has really ventured out to try and test that upper row, because you want to have that compatibility with your race partner.
You're absolutely right, Tim.
Oh, go ahead,
I was going to say also, you'll notice these trucks will start to overheat if they keep tucked up behind each other for too long. They're going to have to start breathing it. So as you can see, the 420 truck, he'll start peeking his nose on the outside here on the straightaways to try to get some fresh air to pull that machine off. Otherwise, they'll end up with engine problems here and won't be able to finish this race off. Still out front, 419 leading it.
Absolutely right, Nick. And I've noticed the 44 of James Hickson, it doesn't look like he has a racing partner right now. He's kind of in the groove, looking for an opportunity. You know, who do I follow? Do I go with that high side? Do I go with the low side? Is the yellow truck behind me? Is that one going to follow me into it? That's Wade Ruckert in the 82. Is he going to follow me? A lot of decisions going on right now. Who knows? Deals may be being made because these drivers have the ability to do private chat with the other drivers in here as they make deals about who they're going to race with to get up front. Now, you've noticed the field has broken off into two separate packs right now. Pack racing seems to be the order of the day right now. It doesn't mean that those folks who have fallen behind in the second pack are out of contention. Absolutely not. They could very well end up front. All they've got to do is line up in a row, get that draft going, and push their way towards the front.
And the 42 gets a shove out front here on the high side, followed by the 419 coming back strong on the inside. As you see, they're starting to space them out a little bit, trying to get some air in those trucks. Still got a long way to go here as they come to lap number 5 here in the tri-oval.
Looks like Wade in the 82 decided to jump to the high line and say, hey, I want to get me some of that. Looks like they're doing great. And you'll notice those two cars hooked up front. They have managed to pass the leader right now. And yes, we have got a new leader. George Bark has slidden into that front position, but he's going to move up and bring his partner. Hopefully they'll get enough of a draft there. Good. They're getting a push right now from Wade in the 82 truck. That should be enough if they want to come down to the bottom line to secure that spot. Unfortunately, Wade made it in. Good deal, but he backed up the field. We might have a little bit of a problem. 3 wide going into the turn there. Someone had to get down onto the apron to avoid an accident. Wow, Nick, this is crazy.
That was some great driving. There's definitely a lot of mirror driving going on right now. Everyone's trying to figure out where everyone's going to go and try to predict what lane they should be in. Right now, the bottom lane appears to be the best around the track here as the 42 of George Bark leads them out front with a nice cozy lead here, getting into 1, followed by John Gordon in 2nd in the 420 truck.
Boy, howdy, I'm telling you, Nick, someone we have not mentioned yet is the 02 of Ryan Borges. He is there waiting for an opportunity to get up to the front. And I think that opportunity is right now. I think he just hooked up with someone, found himself a partner. And you watch, I bet you he's going to be up front battling for the lead here with just in a few laps.
You're absolutely right, Tim. The 22's out in front of the 02 truck there. The 22's driven by the Ralph Shipman. Really coming up strong through the field here. We got 02 with Ryan Bogart really pushing on the outside here. Looking for an opening on the outside, trying coming down the front stretch here, going into the tri-oval.
Now you'll notice that second pack is starting to catch up with them, being led by Kerry Cleaver in the 69, getting a great push there at the 77 truck. Who is that? Robert O'Neill giving a great push to Kerry as they catch up to that lead pack. I told you, it doesn't take long. All you got to do is cooperate with your teammates, and before long, you're going to be there. You see, they've got a great run right now as they're still jockeying for position up in that lead pack.
As they're coming down the stretch here, the back stretch getting into 3. As you can see, it's a 2 truck tandems happening here. Looks like we've got some swaps going on. 82 must have been a little hot behind 420, so he slid it up to get some fresh air as the 419 gets it in below him. He tucks it back in, 4 trucks, single file, top 4. 42 still out in front as they make their way down into the tri-oval, followed by the 420, 419, or excuse me, that's the 22 and 82nd.
Now for our race fans who are not as familiar with iRacing and how it works, these vehicles are behaving very similar to the actual NASCAR series trucks that you would see on TV on any given, Friday or Thursday night. depending on when they decide to run. Roll right now, making a break for the lead. They just hung our leader out to dry. George Park is having a heck of a day here as he is now up front and jumped towards the lead again, being pushed by John Gordon. Man, what a great move, Nick.
That was. He left the leader out high and dry, and now they're gone. Definitely looks like we got two team trucks here. The 419 and 420 trucks both resembling the same Goodwrench Plus paint scheme here, leading it out front, first and second, as they make their way down.
As we were saying, Nick, just a moment ago, as our drivers are pretty much paired up with their partners right now, we have got these trucks, they're so similar that actual NASCAR drivers get onto iRacing and they practice here. That's right, they practice in the iRacing simulator to learn the tracks, try out new lines, and practice being in traffic. Just log on to iRacing.com, check it out for yourself. You'll see real-world race car drivers in this racing sim, some of them in these very leagues that you'll find broadcasted on LSRTV.
Out at two they come. They are looking still out front, very strong. 420 out front. John Gordon, excellent move he made to get the truck on the outside to lead this next lap, coming to 10 to go here as they make their way down into turn one. Looks like they're doing a switch here. Looks like 419 must have been getting hot. There was some communication on the private channel, and he moves right back up. Didn't even lose a spot. They'll be right back bumper to bumper out of two as they make their way down the backstretch.
You're absolutely right, Nick. And Nick, how long do these trucks have? Or how long can, if I'm the driver and I'm doing the pushing, how long can I push the truck that's in front of me before my truck's going to heat up?
You know, Tim, that's a great question, and it really all boils down to how much tape these trucks are running. Typically, we see these trucks can really get out nose to tail, bumper to bumper for a good 2 to 3 laps without breathing it. But anything past that, you're going to start heating it up in the close to 295 range, and at that point, if you stay any longer, you're going to blow it up. So
that's a great description there, Nick. You see the 82 is making a charge toward the front. That's Wade Rookert getting a great push there. And I think he's going to have enough momentum here to retake the lead. That's George Park doing the pushing in the 42. They have passed the outside line, and looks like we've got decision making, some swapping going on back in the pack of where do I want to be? Do I want to be in the fast lane, and which one is the fast lane at this point?
You're absolutely right, Tim, and right now there's still a long ways to go. They still have well over 40 laps to go, so they're still trying to take it easy on these engines. They don't want to overheat them for too long because they know they could easily drop a cylinder and they'll put the end of their night. So
does it really work that way in iRacing, Nick? Can I drop a cylinder like I really would in a NASCAR race?
Absolutely, and when it does, you better not be behind the car when that happens, because it will shit out a ton of smoke, and chances are there will be a huge wreck behind you. So you do not want to overheat that motor any longer than you have to.
All right, guys.
Race fans. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I was sitting here watching down here in pit road, and I've noticed a couple cars how important the draft is here, like in NASCAR. You see, we got a couple packs here, probably about a 4-second or so difference, and then you got 2 cars in the back, the 44 James Hickson and the 006 with Verlis Falcons. Falcons and Hickson were kind of involved in that little skirmish up front, and the fact that they've fallen off, I know the 006, he has pitted already, which could be a strategic move, but he's already fallen about a half a lap down, and that could be crucial here. So just amazing how much the draft is important here.
That's a great point to bring up there. 3 wide as they came out of turn 4 there. It's luckily there was more giving than taking during the execution of that turn, but by golly, they are fighting for position as $50 is on the line tonight for the winner of this duel. As you may not know, but us race announcers here, we are also drivers in the iRacing series, at NASCAR series within iRacing. So we have some first-hand knowledge here, and like Nick was telling you, if a cylinder goes out on the truck in front of you, kick up some dirt, run through the grass, whatever, if you're following behind the truck that has the problem, your windshield's going to get so dirty with all of those pixelated dirt and everything that jumps up onto your screen there, you won't be able to see where you're going either. So it's real down to that level of detail for our sim racers here tonight.
That's right, Tim. And so far, it's been pretty clean out front. Looks like we've had a few little swirly bobbling going on behind the leaders here, but everyone's managed to maintain their own lines, which is very important here in pack racing. If you can't hold a line, you're going to cause the big one. And it's just a matter of time before we see that big one here as they come down the back stretch here. 420 pushed by the 419 on the outside with the run, making their way into 3. They may be able to clear the 82, and if so, you'll see them tucked down to the inside. Oh, it looks like they're going to actually do a switch 3 wide for the lead. 420 going to bring it back down below his teammate, and they'll hook up as we have a new leader, number 82, Wade Brooker.
Lap 14, you are watching LSRTV, and this is Professional Racing Online Series, a league within iRacing.com, and these are the duel races, the first of the duel races in preparation for the Mrs. Dockside 500 to occur later this week. If you're interested in Pros League Racing Online Series, also don't forget to check out the Thursday Night Beer Money Truck Series. Attempt to qualify for free, $15 entry fee, 100% payback. Payback is based on amount of entries.
Going into turn 3, we've got 420 still on the outside with the 419. 420's really shoving the 419 hard as they make their way into turn 4, coming down the back stretch, coming to the front stretch, excuse me. They've got the run. We should see hopefully a new leader here. If this move pulls off successfully, you'll see him get the run here on the high side coming out of Trioval. 419 leading here to the line.
Nick, what is the 33 of Mr. Rod Sr. doing? He tried to pass that car in front of him on the outside without any help, and you know what? He almost pulled off the side draft. You can do that, race fans. If you get a good enough of a side draft, you can pass someone on the outside coming out of a turn. If you got a great run, if you pick up that side draft, you can still make the move. Now, everything has to happen perfectly, but with the discipline we've seen, the president down if they could pull it off.
You're absolutely right, Tim. There's been a lot of give and take here, and the other factor in making a clean pass on the outside by yourself comes down to setups. Very detailed setups when it comes to setting these trucks up. You really have to understand the physics that goes behind to make these trucks turn really fast laps, and so having a truck that can really get around this track single-handedly means it's set up perfectly with the right weight, the right tire pressure. All of that comes into play as they're 2x2 coming out of 2 down the backstretch.
Nick, for our experienced sim racing member, super speedway without having a caution, and that's with just points on the line. You know, just imaginary iRacing points on the line. This is for $50 to the winner. Not a single person has been put into the wall yet. Nobody has taken some kind of daring move that's going to compromise the integrity of this race. We are seeing a great group of drivers here in this league. I am taken away by how professional these drivers here at Pros League are doing right now.
You're absolutely right, Tim. As they make their way down the backstretch out of 2, still 2x2, great give and take here, nose to tail.
Absolutely, they have formed a very tight line on the outside there. Those 4 trucks have decided to work together and move towards the front.
You're absolutely right. As you see, the 2 teammates still nose to tail working together. 419 and 420, driven by the Stephen Henderson, 419, followed by John Corden. Big run on the outside.
We got some crazy things happening. Just as you said, there's no trucks going after 17 laps. The 006, as I mentioned earlier, Burles Philippines, he got into the wall. His right side, as you can look, if you're seeing it, it just crinkled pretty bad. He's coming down pit road. Looks like he's going to be going down a lap, if not 2, with the way it looks. He may be going, his race may be done.
Mr. Fright, they are coming down with 3 wide. Look at that push that the 73 has from the 33. They have hooked up, and it is time for them to lead a couple of laps. I think they've got the talent to do it as they go into the turn here. Whoa, way up against the wall. Wait a minute. Looks like they got a little loose into that turn. Nick, tell us what happens if you're the lead driver and you're getting pushed, and the guy behind you accidentally hits your bumper at the wrong angle.
Well, Tim, I can tell you this much from past experience. When that happens, You just got to hold on and hope that you're making the right moves at the right time. It's all about precision driving here. And when you get hit the wrong way, it will turn your car a direction very quickly. And depending on if you're prepared for it, you may, if you're lucky, be able to save it. Worst case scenario, you will cause the big one. And you'll notice in that switch, the two teammates, 419 and 420, actually got separated. And so it looks like he's dropping back now, and you can see two partners working on the outside and how quickly a single truck will fall back as he's freight trained on the outside getting into 3.
Now, just like in real-world racing, Nick, we have seen some folks kind of play around with it a little bit. They'll run up front, then they'll fall back to the back and say, okay, teammate, now let's try to get back to the front just to see how long it's going to take. Just like we observe happening on NASCAR weekends when we're watching on TV or actually there at the track.
Yep, and one other thing to take a note is sometimes that's strategy playing because they are prepared for the big one and they don't want to be caught up in it. When you're nose to tail, side by side, wide open like that, and one driver makes a mistake, it can end your night early. So a lot of drivers will sometimes decide to hang out in the back for a little bit and strike when it counts. We still have a long ways to go here as we've got the two teammates hooked back up and dropping it back on the inside as they make their way into turn 3.
Now, folks, when these cars are racing, you have to have some kind of a draft if you want to maintain optimal race speed. So these cars in the front pack, even if they don't have a designated partner, if they're in that pack, they're going to be traveling at optimum race speed. Now, we look at James Hickson, the 44 truck. He has lost the pace. He does not have a partner, which means he is falling behind and very close to becoming lapped. So what he needs right now is a caution to bump these cars, bunches these cars back up together so he can have another shot at this thing.
And when that caution comes out, if it does, it's going to make for some exciting restarts here as the race starts to wind down and that $50 prize gets even closer. You're going to start to see the give and take start to stop, and people are going to start holding their ground and making big moves. As you can see, the two teammates out front are making a swap going into 3.
That's right. The first 8 cars are bunched up pretty good, and then we have a 2-car tandem with Sean Zulu and Mark Maffitt just kind of hanging back right behind that lead pack, waiting for an opportunity. I don't think they're too far out of it yet. A few seconds farther back, we have Kerry Cleaver and Robert Arnell working together, still not too far away to catch up to the pack, but definitely far away enough back so that if there is a big one, they're out of it. And bringing up the rear of the field, we have a 3-car tandem working together, Ben Burnett, Carl Burke, and Richard Gabinelli working together in the back, hoping for a caution, kind of gambling a little bit right now, playing it safe, I would say.
And as you can see by how close the leaders are running, the top 7 are within 1 second of each other. And right now it's pretty much single file line as everyone's just waiting patiently, ticking off laps, waiting patiently for that final lap to come. It looks like we have some strategy coming down. We got some trucks entering pit road.
Outstanding. Pit road time, always some great excitement to watch and see there. Who's going to pit? Who's going to take 2 tires? Are we going to take any tires at all? Usually at these tracks, we don't take tires. We just fill her up and go. What do you think is going to happen here, Nick?
That's a good question. Let's turn it down to our pit road analyst and see what's going on.
Well, right now, it looks like the George Bark's in there in pit road. Looks like they're just getting gas only. Gas only. I haven't seen the tires come up on either of them. They're down and away.
Be curious to see who actually else comes back down. Typically, once one truck comes, the rest will follow. And whoever pits first here typically will be in the position to win this thing.
Nick, what happens if I don't have a partner but I need to pit?
You know, that's definitely a problem, and so there's a lot of communication that's happening between teammates, and you really need to try to time it out perfectly. Otherwise, you will lose the draft, and you will go a lap down if you do not have help on your pit stop.
That is so disheartening, especially with $50 on the line here, man. $50 for a race, a sim race. This is excitement. Leaders are coming up on lap traffic right now. That guy didn't have a partner, and he's suffering for it at this moment.
He sure is. However, the other trucks still have to come down pit road as well, so it's still anybody's game here at this point. As they make their way down into turn 3, it's still the 419, 420 out front.
Well, guys, I just heard over the radio that lap 32 or 33 is when most of the trucks are to come down on fuel. So about halfway, these trucks are getting decent fuel mileage for the race they've been having. So we look forward to hearing about 5, 6, 7 laps, people coming in to get gas.
Yeah, that's a great point you bring up there with the fuel mileage aspect of it, because if I'm following the truck that's in front of me, I don't have to be matted down on the gas all the way. You know, I can throttle that baby just a little bit, maybe go at 75-80% throttle at a time or two, or even come off of it more than that, just depending on the draft. If you ever done any drafting, you know that you could be all the way down on the gas and then suddenly you got to come all the way off of it. For some reason, it's like an accordion, back and forth when you're following nose to tail.
It sure is, Tim. And as they make their way into 3, it's still pretty spaced out. We've got 3 packs of 2-car tandems happening here, coming up on pit stops here in less than about 5 or 10 laps.
And we're going to commercial.
All right, guys, and it looks like we had a truck flashed out. One of the things that will happen is if a driver has an internet connection problem, they will actually disappear off the track for a certain period of time, and it looks like the 420 of John Gordon is completely gone. Looks like there's a lot of people being disconnected here.
Want the money? Come and get it. This is Dockside 500. That's $500 to win, $10 to start, guaranteed at Talladega Speedway. And
Well, guys,
we're back.
Well, as we had a little technical difficulty there, but weird thing happened, and the 44 who was off the pace is actually working with some of the leaders with the drafting. That's going to help him out, especially being up there with the leaders. If caution was to come out, he'd be able to get that lap back pretty quick.
One of the problems when you experience internet connectivity problems here at high speeds, your truck or car will completely disappear. And when that happens, it can mess up that draft, especially if you have a draft partner you've been working with. And until you get reconnected, you're off the track completely.
Nick, I have been one of those drivers before, you know, living in a rural area and right at the front of the field too. And when your screen just goes blank or things stop and all the cars disappear, you just pray that your truck is not messing up everybody else.
Yeah, that is definitely a heartbreaking scenario when you're out front leading for a $50 prize pool and you disappear completely off the track. 419 of Steven Hendren is still out front, making their way into turn 4, coming down the front stretch here. It's got a new partner drafting, the 33 of Ron.
Yeah, we got a good single line battle going in here. Looks like they got a couple tandem forming up on the outside of that pack there with the 82 and the 02. We've got the 44 who is, I believe, currently a lap down. So some good racing up here with everybody.
Yes, the 44 looked to have that unscheduled pit stop a little earlier, but he still managed to maintain the draft after he came back out on the tail end here. The pit stops are coming closer as they're on lap 29, making their way to 30. Lap traffic up ahead down the backstretch as they're 2x2.
Now, for those who are watching, that 006 up there that's getting ready to go another lap down, he was involved in a little wall issue coming off of, I believe it was turn 2. Now, with that damage, he's really off the pace. Some of his lap times are about 4 and 5 seconds, if not more, off the leader, and probably a good 20 miles an hour. It's amazing how much damage can affect you in an aerodynamic track like this.
You're right. His right fender, it does have crinkled
up into
damage.
the wall there, Nick. We had a truck go up into the wall as they negotiated that front stretch.
And it looks like we have a new leader. It looks like 82 Wade Brookert and Brian Borges moved up there, but that bottom line is prevailing once again.
That truck that brushed up against the wall is Burles Falcons. Looks like he got a little bit of damage on the right rear quarter panel. Oh my goodness, that is going to slow him down tremendously.
His day is not going good. He's been damaged before, prior to that run-in with the wall, and looks like he's already 3 laps down, so it's pretty safe to say his running for today for the top prize is over.
I tell you, Stephen Hendrick running in the top there, pretty steady all week long, or all race long here from Florida. Has a great little record here in iRacing, showing 185 oval starts and 24 wins with 71 top 5 finishes. Man, he's the kind of guy you're going to see out front all night long.
That's very impressive. We have a truck down on the apron, slow as they make their way by. After 32 laps without pit stops, it's going to start being very tough to see out these windows as build-up starts to accumulate.
Oh, we got a guy in the wall. Yeah, and it's the Burles. He is really into the wall. His truck seems like he's messed up big time.
At this point, you might just want to bring it in. But of course, we've got the option to try and keep going. Who knows? Maybe he can get his lap back.
One of the biggest problems when you get damaged is the steering knocks out the toe, and at that point, when you have your wheel going straight, your truck may want to go right or left, and so it makes it very difficult to try to keep it going straight.
Now this main pack of 7 or 8 cars here, we got 8 cars up front. They're still in it, of course, but we've got 4 of them in the back. Oh, caution is out. Caution is out. Nick, what happened?
That is a great question, Tim.
Caution came out. I'm sure I heard over the chatter that it's because they're going to try to regather everybody with the way that everything was lagging. This will play big time into fuel strategy and the effect of the race. I mean, right now they should be able to make it, so something to keep in mind how many people are coming into pit road.
Mr. Fight, I think that is a great idea, and I'm glad that Professional Racing Online Series decided to go ahead and throw a caution here, kind of NASCAR's version of debris on the track. We had some technical difficulties going on there, and this is going to be a great opportunity to, get everybody bunched back together here. We can't control technical difficulties sometimes, especially with an online race.
Yeah, internet connections come and go, and servers can crash, and depending on where you're located, you may even be dealing with weather. Bad storms and high wind can all affect your connection here. So this is a very good idea on their part to throw this competition caution here, give everyone a chance to take a breather, relax, stretch their hands as they make their way to the pace car getting into 3.
Let's not forget, too, these drivers, okay, these are folks just like you and me. They have day jobs. They might be going to school. They might have like a cat jumping up on their desk while they're trying to drive, or a dog barking underneath their feet, or a kid banging on the door saying, "Dad" or "Mom, can I watch you race?" Something like that. There could be outside distractions going on while they're trying to negotiate these turns and these passes at such high speeds.
It definitely takes a lot of concentration and sometimes multitasking skills to be able to handle issues that come up outside of the racing environment here. Looks like they're making their way down pit road here.
As they're coming down pit road, and Mr. Fight gets ready to call the action on pit road, don't forget to mark on your calendar Thursday night. There's going to be some more racing, 9 p.m. Eastern, here at LSRTV. Don't miss it.
So far, the 22 came in early. He took 4 tires and probably maybe splashed up on fuel. He should be good to go and may be coming out first. Right now, the 419's going in there. It looks like he is getting gas only as it stands right now.
Nick, if this were me right now and I were in this race, I would have definitely identified a partner and a backup partner, because you know what? 10 laps from now, we might have to rely on our backup partner.
Oh man, we just had a weird mess up there on pit road between the 37, the 77, and the 006. Once again, I don't know if he missed his pit stall or what, but looks like the 77 was coming out and he had a slam on his brakes, which cost him time. I've seen some cars going, taking 2 tires and most of them taking gas. It's all about strategy here, especially it's like a one big chess match here at Talladega.
I tell you, it is not a good day for the 006 of Mr. Felkins. it just happens to the best of us sometimes when the luck does not fall in your favor.
Speaking of running out of luck, a heartbreaking situation for John Corden in the number 420 truck, 7 laps down after leading pretty much the entire day here after a connection dropped.
Oh, that is the hardest to deal with. You know, it's easy to deal with those situations where you mess up personally or where somebody slams down into you and then you have something to gripe about. But when you lose connection, by golly, that's just the worst. Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching Pros League Professional Racing Online Series at LSRTV. This is a duel in preparation for the Mrs. Dockside 500, and we are going to commercial break.
Trucking has always been a part of me. It started years ago when my dad and granddad were hauling vegetables to market in Liverpool. The family immigrated to Canada in the late 60s and settled near Alliston, Ontario. I bought my first truck in 1982 and Mercer Trucking was born. Today, Mercer Trucking has over 50 trucks and terminals in Toronto and Los Angeles. Our storage facilities at both terminals can handle any size of distribution needs throughout North America. We service the continental U.S., including Hawaii and Alaska. We run over 120,000 miles per month and some of the best equipment on the road today. We specialize in less than truckload shipments, show freight, we do rush team service deliveries, and haul your refrigerated or heated product. Our regular team service from Canada to California is second to none, and our staff and drivers are among the best in the business. I'm proud of our people and what they can achieve. Trucking is in my blood, it's my livelihood, and it's what I do best.
Welcome back, race fans. This is a doozy of a night. I tell you what, now while we're getting all lined back up here under caution, want you to please support the official sponsors of ProsLeague.com and Pros League Racing, Mrs. Dockside, also known as Kim Dolan, a realtor for Ventura County, California, listed as the #1 selling agent. Wow. Thank you so much for your sponsorship, Kim Dolan. Contact her at 805-341-4495 for a great deal on any piece of real estate.
Also, if anyone ever has a computer question or problem, don't hesitate to contact L Technology Group at 855-999-6425. Technicians are standing by 24/7 to help solve your problems, whether it's virus removal or speeding up a slow computer.
All right, guys. For you fans out there, just a quick pit road analysis. Everybody took some took 2 tires, some took gas only, and that right there is pretty much getting fresh rubber for that traction. Longer the run, with the weather being so cold, tires should be holding up pretty good. But also with the long race delay here, with the internet issues, the series has decided to go ahead and postpone the start for green just for a few more laps so everybody can get caught back, resettled, readjusted, and ready to take a run and make this a very exciting $50 race.
You know what? I'm really glad they're doing that. That's an unprecedented move, and it's really neat. It shows the integrity of this racing series. That's ProsLeague.com. It's such a great move to get everyone bunched back up, so we can have good competitive racing and a great finish for this duel here. $50 to the finisher. Place. Look at that. George Park into the first place position, hanging the 21. Sean Zulu out to dry.
It is give and take here, but it's starting to run out. As you just seen, he left his partner high and dry by cutting down on the inside. Right now, all drivers attempting to get to the bottom there, so they're not left being freight trained by themselves without any help as they make their way down the backstretch into turn 3. We've got George Park out front.
Nick, with 17 laps remaining, is there any time for strategy, or is it just get to the front and stay to the front at this point?
Laps are definitely winding down, and if you're not in position to take advantage of moves like that, it's time to start going to the front. You can't hang back forever, and time's running out here as they make their way down through the front stretch into turn 1.
Whoa, I saw Ben Burnett having some problems there, blinking out. Hang on, was that Ben? Nope, that was Robert O'Neill in the blue truck, the blue 77, blinking in and out, having some problems. Hopefully he doesn't lose connection.
Looking through the lineup here, it looks like number 420, John Cordon, who was out leading most of this race, never did make it back after connection failure. 13 laps down is going to end his day, unfortunately.
Nick, I hate to hear that. That's such an unfortunate thing. He was up there, could have won that $50 prize. Definitely had the talent to do it.
It really is tough break for him and his teammate for that matter, Steven Hendren, and the 419 truck all alone. Lost his partner. Looks like the Mark Moffitt, the 10 truck, may give him a break here and hook up with him, but at this point, he's pretty much single-handed out there.
Race fans, check out LSRTV. Go to your Google machine, type in LSRTV, click the link. Man, you're going to find some great racing action there. If you're anything like we are, we love racing at all times of the day or night. LSRTV, check it out. Great racing action, just like what you're finding here tonight.
They really do a great job of broadcasting and showing all the different angles and all the replays and such of the highlights in the race. So definitely worth watching if you haven't seen it before as they make their way out of 4 here. George Bark still out in front with help behind the 73 of Jeremy Candell.
Nick, this pack being led by Kerry Cleaver and Carl Burke, they are nose to tail and bunched up in a tight-knit group here. Are they having their own battle for their own little win back here?
Yeah, they're not going to go far if they're battling each other too wide out here. 3 wide, actually.
Oh my goodness, that's just, wow. That was probably not intentional. That's my guess. Wouldn't you say, Nick?
Yeah, it looks like the 21 just had a bad bump and probably shot him up the track, and he had to back out of it to stop from wrecking everyone else. So they're probably going to file in single file here. Yeah, and they sure do. It's single file, clear back to the top 10.
Nick, tell us a little bit about the steering ratio of these cars, you know, and what does it mean if I have a 14-to-1 versus an 8-to-1 steering ratio at this track?
Great question, Tim. Steering ratio, basically it affects how much wheel a driver has to put into to get the car to rotate. And so multiple drivers are running different variations out there. And an 8-to-1 steering ratio pretty much means you only have to turn the wheel a little bit. And I like to refer to that as precision driving, whereas an 14-to-1 steering ratio, you really got to crank it to get that thing to rotate. When you're
Robert O'Neill on the high side, charging towards the front, being pushed by the 69 of Kerry Cleaver. Look out, here they come.
77, huge run on the outside, making their way down the backstretch here. Followed by the 69.
Oh, guys, it looks like we're running down the laps in the top 13. If I'm not mistaken, the top 13 advance. So every position is crucial here. The battle's just getting hotter and hotter, and I look for as the laps start to wind down with the next 10 laps or so, we'll probably see more 3-ride racing going on around here.
You know, guys, I like what Robert O'Neill and Kerry Cleaver are doing right now on that high side. They hung out and just kind of played it safe for a while, and now they mean business. They are paired up very well. They may have a shot at finishing this thing. I think they're holding out just a little bit for the finish.
I think you're absolutely right about that. And looking back here, one thing we haven't spoke about is how these drivers are classified. Most of you will notice there's these colored stripes in the back bumpers here of the trucks, which signify a driving class. The blue stripes are our A drivers, and the yellow stripes are C drivers, all of which work really well together here as they make their way out of 4 down the front stretch.
Now, the different classes there, Nick, does that mean if I'm one color of stripe, does that mean I'm a better racer than the other guy, or does it mean that I'm a safer racer than the other guy? How do they determine what stripe I get?
That's a great question, Tim, and I would say, to be honest, no, it does not make you a better driver or not. It just means you probably race more out there. But with that being said, it does allow you to compete with drivers similar in class and experience.
Now, if these drivers want to compete in the iRacing online public series, they can do that. But when they come into these league races, if they have an incident, those incidents points do not count against them during their public series if they're competing in those series as well. Also, the iRating, they don't get iRating games for these series races, these league races, but they do get hard-earned dollars for the wins, especially tonight. $50 to the winner in this first duel in preparation for the Mrs. Dockside 500.
I don't know about you, Tim, but that is some great motivation for me to get up on the wheel here and get this thing out front. As you can see, 3 wide. Partners are swamping back there. And we're going to see some great racing coming down the line here with 10 to go.
You know, Nick, that was a really inopportune time to have to make a switch. I know sometimes you can't pick when that's going to be, but if you can get your timing right, there are spots in the track where you want to make that switch, where you want to initiate it, and spots where you don't want to initiate it. What you don't want to do is start that switch in the middle of a turn, because you're just gonna lose momentum. Believe me, I've tried it, and it ain't the best scenario.
You're absolutely right, but the problem with that, sometimes it doesn't always go your way, and if you're trapped on the outside, sometimes you just have to make the switch to stop from blowing it up, from overheating. As they come down with 9 laps to go, George Bark still out front.
Nick, that 69 of Kerry Cleaver's going to have to be careful. He is wiggling quite a bit behind the 77 of Robert O'Neill. He's going to need to tuck it in and keep it tight right there, else he could end up spinning out the 77 of Robert O'Neill. Now, so far, they've all done really well, been very professional here, but it's going to start getting really tight, really close quarters up here as we wind into our last final 10 laps, which we're in right now. You're in the final 10 laps of this heat race.
Nerves are going to start coming down and affecting how these drivers react to opportunity. They're going to start looking for ways to move up through the field by riding the outside draft and pushing harder and longer. We may see engines start to fail as drivers keep it tucked behind the truck in front of them a little longer than they normally would as they try to push their way down.
You're also going to see some backstabbing, Nick. I guarantee it. Somebody's going to ditch a partner for a chance to win this $50. $50. Man, they are going to ditch it to get to the front.
It'll be very interesting to see how that all plays out, as a lot of these partners have gotten shaken up after that technical difficulty we had. And as you can see, we do have a couple of trucks up there flashing out.
Tandem racing 3 wide into the turn, Nick.
3 wide in turn 4. 2x2.
6 cars. Oh my goodness. Okay, they fall into 2 wide there, but man, that was interesting. They thought they could make it on the outside. You know what? They can. They're trying it again.
They're racing like it's 1 to go.
Oh, this could be the end of it all right here. Let's see what kind of skill they've got as Robert O'Neill leads them across the start-finish line and into turn 1. Wow.
The 69's getting a little swirly in the middle there. He's getting a lot of bad air off of the cars on either side of him there, and he needs to hold his line if he wants to keep it safe and have a chance to bring home the $50.
That's the 21 of Sean Zulu leading the outside line and almost able to pass Robert O'Neill in the 77, but the 69, Kerry Cleaver has pulled it together and locked onto the back bumper of Robert O'Neill, and he is shooting him to the front. I tell you though, but if Robert wants this win, he may have to ditch the 69 and drop down in front of that bottom line. What do you think, Nick?
That's definitely an option here when it comes down, if the opportunity arises to leave your partner high and dry and take the win. As you've noticed, the trucks on the outside, they broke apart and they dropped back big time. They're probably playing it safe, airing the trucks out, doing a test to make sure they can get that run on the outside when it counts.
You know, Nick, partnership is everything, trust is everything, and this is just one of 2 duels for the big race. It's going to happen later on, the Mrs. Dockside 500, and that pays out $500 to win. So, do you risk it all and abandon your partner just for $50?
You know, that's a great question, and it really just depends on how tight-knit these partners are. If they're just partners based on the track from today's under circumstances, then you'll probably see partners being left. If it's a friendship outside of iRacing, they'll probably try to stick it together till the very end.
Very good, as positioning for these races does determine your starting grid, I believe, for the Mrs. Dockside 500. 2 wide tandem racing. Someone has gotten left out. Who is that, Justin? Who got left out without a partner there?
It looks like the 21 moved up high. The 82 is going to come back up. It looks like, yes, it is. It looks like they're going to try to do a late race push here.
Someone to possibly keep your eye on is the 33 and 22 truck back in 10th and 11th spot. They're tandem and hooked up, and they are on the move.
Whoa, Nick, Justin, what happened to the 77 of Mr. Robert O'Neill? He was just leading the race.
It just shows you how quick things can change here in a matter of a few feet. If you're not hooked up perfectly and getting the right push from your partner, it can completely mess your day up.
That's right, we mentioned him earlier, and Steven Hendren is back in the mix up front. I think this guy knows what he's doing.
33 and 22 shaving time off as they're running the pack down, trying to get a good position here for the prize to move on.
I tell you what, Nick, these trailing cars here behind the front four, if they were to link up nose to tail, they could catch that front four within about a lap or so. It wouldn't take too long for them to get there and possibly slingshot right around them if they did some teamwork here instead of working against one another. We see the 69 and the 77 and hooked back up again. They're starting to move towards the front. It's going to be a lot of ground, though. By the time we get to the end of the race, we're on lap 53 right now. The 69 is going to be way too hot to keep pushing Robert O'Neill.
Breaking news coming from race control. The 006 was asked to take a move off the track because of his damage. You know, he's been on the wall a few times during the course of the race, and his truck is very damaged. As we're getting ready to go 3 wide once again, coming out of going into turn 3, it looks like.
That is turn 1, 3 wide for the lead. Drivers realizing it's counting down here to the final laps.
This is risky. Mark Maffett in a risky spot right there in the middle, trying to negotiate traffic and the cars around him. But yeah, I tell you what, Nick, you don't see this every day, as much 3-wide racing as we've seen all race long. And you know what? We haven't had a caution due to a wreck yet.
I know, which makes me wonder, are we going to see the big one? And if so, when's it going to happen? Laps are winding down here. It's still very clean racing going on. Drivers are single filing it back up as they make their way into the trial.
Nick, I don't think we're going to see the big one. The professionalism I have seen from Pros League racers here has just been tremendous, and I don't think they're going to end up wrecking each other. That's my 2 cents worth.
We've got 3 laps to go, and the 77 and 69 are slowly picking up that front pack. It's going to be interesting to see 8 cars battling for that very first place position and the transfer to go to the Mrs. Dockside 500.
It's going to come down to raw experience here, knowing exactly when you need to make your move on the outside and work with your partner to time it just right so your truck does not overheat right before the checkers.
Folks, 3 wide into the corner there, fighting for position again. Look out. This is going to be exciting. We're on lap 55, about to tape lap 56. This is going to be a doozy as the 73 of Jeremy Crandall moves towards the front. Can he take the lead as they go through the turn?
Looks like the number 10 of Mark Moffitt is going to lead another lap here as they get even closer to the end of this race of this $50 duel shootout.
Robert O'Neill and Kerry Cleaver not giving up. They're in the back, pushing together. We've got 2 laps to go. It's now or never. They're going to have to give it all you got. There's no more forgiveness. There's no more excuse me, may I get by, please. This is my win to take. Get out of my way. It's for all the marbles. If you're up front right now, you're going to stay up front. There is no switching for another pusher. Folks are committed at this point.
The gloves are off, and we're going to see exactly how well these drivers can hold their nerves as they make their way toward that $50 prize, coming down into the front stretch, making their way into the tri-oval. Still 2 wide, 2 on back.
Mark Maffett and Stephen Hendren. Wow.
It looks like we got the white flag. The white flag is out, guys. This is going to be interesting to see what's going to happen.
This is for all the marbles, folks. Going through 1 and 2. They are 2 wide, fighting for everything. This is $50 on the line, folks. $50 to the winner of this duel.
We have a truck off pace down on the inside as they're going to approach. This may impact the finish of this race as they're nose to tail.
Doesn't it always, Nick? Oh my goodness, you think you've got a 1. Mark Maffett doing a great job, getting a great push here by Jeremy Crandall. A look at the outside, they're making their move as they negotiate turn 3. There's only 1 more turn to go, and here they come into turn 4. Mark Maffett still out front. Can he get the run on the outside? No, there's a car up there. What's going to happen? The cars are staying low as they come down the front stretch. Mark Maffett in the lead by just 1/100 of a second or so, but here he comes, pushing up to the front. Jeremy Crandall, does he have enough? Here we go!
It's going to be a photo finish for the first. Wow. They're banging doors there.
Mark
Looks like
Maffett,
the 10
what a great
hold
run.
on to it.
That is
What a
fantastic, Nick. Oh, man.
What a finish. Photo finish. It looks like Mark definitely holds on to it.
Mark
Great
needs
race.
to give a big
9.
hug and a thank you to Stephen Hendren for that racing push.
Oh, we got a
and then
wreck
he wrecks
here
him
at
out at the
1
end of the race. That was his pusher. They're not mad at each other, folks. That was just a howdy, congratulations bump right there.
That finish,
What a
guys,
great
was
job.
9 thousandths of a second of a finish, or closest race you'll ever see here.
Oh, my word. And you saw it here at LSRTV. Great racing thanks to ProsLeague.com. Folks, if you want to become a member at Pros League, visit www.pros.com league.com. Click on Join Pros. It's the fourth option in the menu board up at the top. Fill out the driver registration, submit, and you could be racing here at prosleague.com and featured on LSRTV. You could be the next champion, just like Mr. Mark Maffett. What a great race tonight.
Absolutely great racing. Not a single caution brought out by wrecking. Really clean racing. Got to give a hand off to Mark Moffat for a great run. Kept it clean on the bottom. Brought it to the race win, and he's brought home the $50 prize purse.
Man, Nick, great job tonight. Thank you so much for your technical expertise tonight. Justin, well done. Way to go. Oh, man, I can't tell you. Thank you for your expertise on our pit stops. We are going to a short commercial break. When we come back, folks, we're going to hear from some of the drivers. Ladies and gentlemen, race fans, you are on LSRTV, and we are here with second place finisher, Mr. Jeremy Crandall. Jeremy, wow, what a great effort here tonight. Such a great professional job you did on the track, coming up just a little bit short. Walk us through that last lap.
Yes, sir. I knew we'd have our work cut out for us. Run with Mark quite a few times. A real strong truck, real class act guys there. A lot of fun. Can't complain losing them that way.
No, absolutely not, man. I agree. And the professionalism that not only you show, but your teammates, the folks there at Pros League Racing, that entire 57-lap race for $50 on the line, not a single caution due to folks crashing each other. That's fantastic professionalism.
Yeah, awesome group of guys. George Bark and Nick and them has put this thing together. They worked real hard, and I think it paid off. Hopefully the 500 runs just as good as that. Definitely looking forward to it. I think I got a strong piece. There's obviously a lot of strong ones out there.
Hey, Jeremy, good luck during the 500. You've shown us tonight you've got the skill to win this thing. I mean, you barely lost this thing. More than 9,000ths of a second. That was so close. Great job with you and your teammate, your pusher. I think George Bark was pushing you back there. Great job to both of y'all. I can't say enough about how impressed I am with your performance on the track tonight.
Yeah, thank you, and just lending a hand to show everybody else. I mean, that was a group effort there. Any one of us could have made a mistake, and it turned ugly for all of us. So definitely the whole group of us made that happen.
Yes, definitely. Congratulations, Jeremy. Great race in there at the end. Question for you, coming down to the one to go. We had some lap traffic up ahead. Did that play in any hand for you going out to the outside much later than you anticipated, which may have affected your race there?
I seen them up there, kind of paying attention to their line for sure, see if there's any way I could use them. But I knew I needed to keep them strong trucks down as far as I could and make it a clean race to the end. So they were definitely on my radar, but it had nothing to do with us going outside. They just got a good run, got in front of us, and knew that was going to be our only shot.
Yeah, I think you did a great job. You timed it perfectly. I'm glad to see great professionalism. Everyone gave everyone room, and it came down. Great job again. Congratulations on your second place finish and moving on to the next duels here.
Jeremy, thanks for all from all of us here from LSRTV and Pros League Racing. You guys did a great job tonight. Congratulations on your second place finish, and good luck later on for the 500.
Yeah, thank you guys. Congratulations to Mark, and let's bring her on with 500.
How about it? Race fans, here in a few short seconds, we're going to hear from our winner, Mr. Mark Moffitt. It's going to be great. Can't wait to talk to him. Nick, I've seen some races in my day, and this one was very impressive just for the fact of how close the racing was, how close the cars were to one another. You saw some really good side drafting going on, and nobody got into each other. We saw a few pushers get a little bit wiggly at times, but they pulled through. They knew when to let off a little bit, when to push it. You don't always see that in such short pack racing at these super speedways.
Yeah, it was definitely a great job of both drivers out front there keeping it clean. They did bang doors a little bit coming to the line, and that's Rubbins Racing, and it's great to see both of them held on to it. Excellent photo finish there for the lead. Look forward to seeing the next race here coming up in just a little bit to see who's going to strike out here and who's going to succeed.
I'll tell you what, some folks who were poised to grab that lead should anything happen to the leaders in that pack there, that lead pack, was Robert O'Neill and Kerry Cleaver, the 77 and the 69. They were working together for mostly the second half of that race, but they were in position. I'm telling you, if those front four had gotten messed up in any kind of a way, that front 4 or 5, then Robert and Kerry were there. They were ready to attack. They were hooked up nose to tail. And I really think that should there have been a bobble up front, these guys would have been able to pass the leaders before the caution flag came out, and that would have put them up front for a green-white checkered.
Yeah, if there was an extra 100 feet of track to go, they could very well have been up on the high side competing for a 3-wide photo finish there. Great job by all drivers, keeping it nice and clean. Very impressed by tonight's performance.
That's right, race fans. Stay tuned, because here in just a minute, we're going to speak to Mr. Mark Moffitt, our winner of the $50 prize here for the first shootout in preparation for the 500 later on tonight. All right, we're going to take a quick little break. Oh, hang on. Mark is in the booth with us. Mark, do you have a copy, Mark?
I have you guys. I'm sitting here.
Mark, congratulations, man. What a great win.
Yeah, it was awesome races, especially at the end. Photo finish, like you guys say.
Oh, man. That was so close. You had Steve Hendren pushing you. Steve had been doing great all night as well. I don't know if you guys had raced together before or not, but the teamwork that y'all showed there in the last few laps, nobody else could match that.
Yeah, no, I know Steve. Raced with him several times. To be honest with you, I had approached him before the race about working with him, and he'd already been committed to another person. And then we had some glitches with iRacing where the other person got booted out of the server. So he said to me, well, come on, man, it's you and me now. I said, yep, let's go get it.
Man, that pre-planning paid off for you in a big way tonight. $50 for winning this first race in preparation for the Mrs. Dockside 500. Are you going to participate in the 500, Mark?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I just want to let you guys know that I also will be splitting that $50 with Steve. I always do that when I play at races when they're for money. You win or lose as a team. So I would definitely be sending Steve $25. Definitely be looking to the 500 and hopefully doing well there too.
Folks, we've been talking about such great professionalism with ProSLeague.com and these racers here. And this just shows you how much of a tight knit and professional group these racers are. Man, I encourage you to go to ProSLeague.com, check them out, and see what they're all about and the folks that they represent. This is some fantastic racing here. Mark, superb job. Hey, tell me, did the side draft have any effect on your strategy tonight? Was that working for you?
Oh, very much so. Very much so with the trucks. And I just want to say real quickly, I want to thank George and Ralph and all the Pros League guys. They do an awesome job. They have an awesome site. You guys are doing an awesome job televising this. Yeah, the side draft is very key, especially now with the new build and the trucks. So yeah, me and Jeremy were real close. And yeah, I think you guys mentioned, I don't know if we rubbed, but I came up a little bit at the end because Jeremy was getting a big run, and I knew I had to shove him up a little bit, or otherwise he was gonna get me at the line.
Mark, this is Nick. Want to first congratulate you on your win. Great driving out there. Very impressive. Photo finish. You took it. You seized the opportunity. Great driving there. At the last lap there, could you walk us through the lap traffic that was coming up? Did that play in or against your hand there?
Oh, we think it very much played against us and helped them get a little bit of draft off of them and were able to pull up on us a little bit more than they would have if there hadn't been anybody up there.
Awesome. Well, congratulations. Great stand-up guys here. You're going to give your teammate half of the winnings. Excellent job again.
Thank you, guys. It was a ton of fun. It really, the money's nice, but it's really about the competition and the fun we're having out here.
Oh, this is Justin there, Mark. Congratulations on the win. 9,000ths of a second. What an amazing finish. And watching that from pit road, it was just amazing seeing you guys flying by at those speeds. Got a couple quick questions for you. I do notice, I heard earlier in the talk at the shop that the overcast clouds could have been a factor. How did that affect your truck during practice and before the race?
Well, the weather here is what we call speed weather. It's really the fastest you can. Overcast with 65 and no wind makes the truck the fastest it can be, and I like that. I really do.
No doubt, you guys you were putting up some really good lap times there each time coming through. Really tight racing. Now I noticed coming to that last lap, I noticed the 82 kind of got there on the 419. I think it was Steven's truck, kind of pushed him up a little bit. Was you worried at all that he could have maybe pushed him up and forced you guys to move up, and they would have came in underneath you, or was you just more focused on finishing it?
To be honest, we weren't real worried about him getting underneath. We were just worried about potential wreck there somehow because of it just gets crazy. You guys know how it gets crazy at the last lap of such a race where everybody's trying to do something. So maybe he'll bang him so hard and turn him. So that's all we were really worried about. And we were hugging that yellow line. He wasn't going to unless he was going to go underneath the yellow. He wasn't going to get under us.
Mark Moffitt, thanks again. From all of us here at LSRTV, and this is Tim, Nick, and Justin, thank you for such a great race. Mark, great professionalism out there. Hope to see you win again and do great in the 500 happening later on. It's such a great job out there. To all of us from LSRTV, thank you to Kim Nolan Realtor and ProSLeague.com. This is LSRTV. Tim, Nick, and Justin saying have a great night and be back here in just a few minutes because we're going to have our second heat race. Again, another $50 to the winner. Don't miss it.